The crystalline spires of the Galactic Council chamber gleamed under the light of 1,000 distant stars. Emma Chin stood at the human delegation podium, her dark eyes scanning the assembled representatives from across the galaxy. Beside her, Jason Martinez reviewed the data on his tablet one final time, his jaw set in determination. The council speaker, a towering Vextheri with iridescent scales, raised 3 of its 4 arms for silence. The human delegation will now respond to the council's demands, it announced, its voice resonating through translation fields. Emma stepped forward, her posture calm despite the weight of what was about to unfold. 3 months ago, the Galactic Council had presented humanity with an ultimatum: pay a protection tribute of 70% of Earth's resources and submit to Council governance, or face immediate economic sanctions and potential military intervention. The galaxy had seen it before. Younger species, desperate for acceptance into galactic society, always paid. The Council had perfected this extortion over millennia, and humanity was simply the latest target. Honorable Council members, Emma began, her voice steady. We have carefully considered your proposal. The Drax ambassador leaned forward, mandibles clicking with anticipation. The tribute from Earth would make several Council members incredibly wealthy. And we have prepared our response, Emma continued. She nodded to Jason, who activated the chamber's holographic display system. The air above the council floor shimmered, and data began to flow. Not the expected treaty documents or resource allocation schedules. Instead, detailed schematics, coordinates, and surveillance footage materialized for all to see. Jason's voice cut through the sudden murmur of confusion. For the past 6 months, while you deliberated on how to best exploit our world, we were conducting our own investigation into the Galactic Council. The hologram shifted, displaying financial records. The Council has extorted 47 species over the past 2,000 years, Jason explained. We've documented every transaction, every threat, every species forced into servitude under the guise of protection. Emma watched as the Council members began to shift uncomfortably in their seats. The Vextheri speaker's scales darkened, a sign of distress in their species. That's preposterous, the Drax ambassador hissed. You have no authority to. We have evidence, Emma interrupted smoothly, including the communications between council members discussing how to divide Earth's resources before we were even formally contacted. We know about the Krell syndicate you used to destabilize the Meridian species before their voluntary submission. We know about the manufactured economic crisis that brought the Thal under your control. The chamber erupted in chaos. Representatives who had long suspected the council's corruption now saw the proof displayed before them. Those who had been victims saw their suspicions confirmed. Jason advanced the presentation. But we didn't stop at investigation. Humanity has spent the last century preparing for contact with galactic civilization. We studied your technologies, your societies, your weaknesses. A new hologram appeared, a massive space station, bristling with weapons humanity had developed in secret. While you saw us as primitive and exploitable, we were building, learning, preparing. Emma's voice hardened. You wanted 70% of our resources? Here's our counteroffer. The Galactic Council dissolves immediately, surrendering authority to a new democratic assembly where every species has equal representation. The speaker's scales flashed bright red, anger. You dare threaten this council? We command fleets that could turn your world to ash. Could you? Jason asked, almost casually. He brought up another display, detailed tactical analyses of every major council fleet, complete with vulnerabilities and response times. We've mapped every ship, every weapons platform, every strategic asset you possess. Your fleets are impressive against unarmed traders and intimidated species, against an enemy who knows exactly where to strike. He let the implication hang in the air. Emma stepped forward again. But we're not interested in war. Humanity didn't come to the stars to become conquerors or extortionists. We came to find friends, partners, and equals. She gestured to the evidence still hovering above them. We've already distributed copies of this data across the galaxy. Every species you've exploited now knows the truth. Every independent world knows what the Council really is. You can't threaten us into silence, and you can't make this information disappear. The chamber had gone completely silent. So here are humanity's actual terms, Emma declared. The council will publicly acknowledge its corruption. Every species will have their tribute contracts nullified. Resources taken under false pretenses will be returned. And a constitutional convention will be convened to create a truly representative galactic government. And if we refuse? The speaker asked, though its voice had lost its earlier confidence. Jason smiled grimly. Then we release the rest of our files. The ones detailing which council members personally profited, where they've hidden their wealth, and which laws they've broken under your own galactic charter. We let the galaxy decide what justice looks like. Emma glanced around the chamber, making eye contact with delegates from species both powerful and small. Humanity learned something long ago, through much pain and many mistakes. Freedom isn't given by those in power. It's taken by those brave enough to stand together. We're offering every species in this galaxy that choice. A delegate from the Thal, one of the species previously mentioned as victims, slowly stood. Then another, and another. Soon, 2/3 of the chamber was standing, facing the council leadership with newfound defiance. The Vextheri speaker looked at Emma with what might have been respect in its alien eyes. You've made your point, humans. Perhaps it is time for change. As Emma and Jason left the chamber hours later, the first democratic convention in galactic history was already being organized. Jason glanced at his companion. Think they'll actually follow through? Emma smiled. They don't have a choice. We just taught the galaxy the most human lesson of all. Bullies only have power if you let them. Behind them, the crystalline spires still gleamed, but the galaxy they represented would never be the same. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage not with submission, but with a declaration that would echo across the stars. Equals or nothing. The age of extortion was over. The age of partnership had begun, and it had taken just one word from humanity to make it happen. No.